Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and we are back for a new Game of Thrones reaction. And today we are up to Season 3, Episode 4, and now his watch has ended. And of course, I am joined by my co-host, Tyler. Hey, Tyler.
How's it going?
Pretty well. And back again, we are joined by special guest, Manda. Hi, Manda.
Hey, thanks for having me again, guys. I love it.
Thanks for joining us for episode 4. Well, in episode 3, we saw Daenerys make a deal with Master Kraisnes to exchange the largest dragon for the army of the Unsullied. We also saw Jon Snow and the wildlings come across a rather morbid sign of chopped up horses. Then the Lord Commander, Samwell, and the rest of the Night's Watch found Mr. Craster's house once again, and Samwell was there as Gilly gave birth to a baby boy. Then
Good.
Tywin
Not good.
Lannister named Tyrion Lannister the Master of Coin, and Podrick Payne impressed some prostitutes. So that's always fun. We saw Arya, Gendry, and the Hound go along with Thoros of Myr back to the lair of the Brotherhood without banners, but Hot Pie stayed behind. Catelyn Stark, as well as Robb, meet her brother and her uncle at her father's funeral. And then finally, Brienne and Jaime continued to be captors of the Boltons. Brienne is saved by Jaime from sexual assault, and Jaime is punished by having his right hand chopped off. And that is where we left off on episode 3. So let's see what obviously has something to do with the Night's Watch. And now his watch has ended. Let's get to it.
Oh, there's his hand. He just gets to keep it now as a keepsake, I guess.
Do you think we could shove up his ass?
Even Brienne's like traumatized for him. Poor Jaime.
My poor boy.
So it begins.
Oh.
We get to see him with one. He's got to fight with one hand now. So. Yeah, not a good look.
I'm not really sure what he thought he could do there.
Brienne gonna save the day.
Wow, she's taking a few of them down.
I don't even have to use her
I
hand.
love her.
She got pretty far with no weapons and died.
This damn show actually making me kind of like Jaime after all this.
Yes!
He gave me a potion that made me powerless to move or speak, yet did nothing to dull my senses. With a hooked blade, he sliced me, root and stem, chanting all the while. But the sorcerer called, and a voice answered. And ever since that day, I have hated magic and all those who practice it. But you can see,
I guess that's an understandable reason to hate magic.
Stannis and his red priestess.
He was shook
symbolic
about
revenge.
Melisandre.
Literally.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
friend.
all right.
It's been a long time. If you have the stomach for it.
Tyrion's face.
Not what I was expecting there.
Tyrion wasn't ready either.
That's pretty dark for Varys. I mean, another dream or premonition, whatever you want to call it.
He was also useless. Like, I'm just, what did I want to say? It's so
At least.
Great.
This guy.
Targaryen was murdered by her brother
Oh,
while her son watched.
I hate listening to him. I just
Ceremony was
can't.
traditionally held.
Marjorie just twisting that finger.
Shall we go and see them?
She's amazing.
Yeah. playing him like a fiddle, it
Give them
seems
your
like.
love. You led the defense of King's Landing.
Hmm.
They adore you.
Good boy.
No.
Okay.
No. No.
I know.
Uh-oh. Look, Cersei is shook.
Oh, Christ.
Uh-oh.
Wait.
Oh no. Don't do it. Now they like him. Cersei. Looks could kill.
I was only a boy when they took you
Yeah,
away.
these two.
My father brought me my brothers.
Why couldn't they cut off Theon's hand instead?
I could never be a Stark. Rob Stark always reminded me of that. Didn't have to.
They took you in as like a family member.
You proved that last season.
He was born to be.
Hello. He
His
forgets,
life fitted
man.
better than his clothes. His landing.
I mean,
Oh, well,
I made
Wow.
a
I
choice.
wish you would have realized that last season when you were making choices.
And I chose wrong.
yeah. Now it's just
Too
your bad
late,
choices are gonna haunt you forever now.
Burned
Too late,
everything
bro.
down.
All just seems very suspicious to me.
I brought him back. He killed the others.
What?
See,
No, I didn't.
see what I
You
mean?
can't.
It all just seemed very suspicious. You have to be all secretive.
He was just like shook in a circle and brought right back to where he was.
Well, you think you would have noticed then?
It's,
What an
yeah,
idiot.
shitty.
And literally, it was pointless.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I thought it was pretty pointless, but I mean, damn. Poor
What are you
Jamie.
doing?
Jimmy's too depressed to eat.
Die.
Just wants to die.
You have a taste. One taste of the real world, where people have important things taken from them, and you whine and cry and quit.
I mean, he lost his hand. I mean, it's not like a small thing to lose.
Brienne ain't having it. See, he started eating.
It's like, fine.
If you say so, whatever you say, babe.
Why did you help me?
Yeah, why did you help, Jamie? Why did you all of a sudden become friendly?
You're still here.
That she might have the most to contribute to your legacy, that you love so much more than your actual children.
No.
All right. Contribute.
The Tyrells are a problem.
But why?
Audrey still got her shit.
Your life, your children.
They have no problem. What's the problem
Audrey has
here?
her claws in Joffrey.
Well, that's her problem.
She knows
Jealousy.
how to manipulate him.
Good. I wish you knew how to manipulate him.
Yes.
I don't distrust you because you're a woman. I distrust you because you're not as smart as you think you are.
Woof!
You've allowed
Damn.
that boy to ride roughshod over you and everyone else in this
Well,
city.
at least it's not just Tyrion that I wouldn't be going ham on.
Another golden rose, how original. I eat from plates
Hot
stamped
damn.
with roses.
Yes.
I sleep in sheets embroidered with roses. I have a golden rose painted on my chamber pot.
That's sad.
As if what happens when the non-existent bumps against the decrepit? Question
Jeez.
for the philosophers. Why shouldn't I take an interest? She's an interesting girl.
Is she?
No, not particularly. But she's had an interesting childhood.
She has.
Ned Stark had many admirers, and how many stepped forward when the executioner came for his head?
I could not help. Lord
Good
Stark,
point,
perhaps I
unfortunately.
can help us. But he would see this country burn if he could be king of the ashes.
What an interesting development with Varys and his hatred of Littlefinger.
I believed you!
Porridge Plague, I'm an idiot. I don't think the Queen would let me leave King's Landing.
The Queen Regent, you mean?
Nope.
Once I marry Joffrey, I'll be Queen.
I guess that's a good point,
And
right?
If you were to marry Loras,
Oh, that has her
your place would be
thinking.
at Highgarden, wouldn't it?
And I'll sort them myself.
How about we just take him out in this moment and get it over with?
Literally.
I'll chop the hands off the next man who calls me bastard. You are a bastard.
Uh-oh.
A daughter fucking
Easy.
wildling bastard.
Oh!
Yeah! Take that!
On hand. I shall have your head.
Oop. Oh no!
No.
Now it's a war.
Night Watch guys lost their damn minds.
Run, Samuel, run! He's probably gotta go find what's her face, Gilly. Oh, He's just gonna lay there and die, I guess. Fall off. Man, that sucks. I only wanted Craster to die, not everything else.
Now it's a bloodbath.
We have to go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Little jabs.
At least Samuel has the right idea. Let's just get the hell out of here.
These other guys want to get Sam, though.
Well,
Reason. Sam has never done anything wrong in his life.
he just rubs people the wrong way.
How? He's a teddy bear.
They were sick of hearing about Gilly out there.
They were. They were like, let's find him and her and get this over with.
You found God. Is that it? I've been reborn in the light of the one true God. As have we all.
I've heard that before.
But don't call me murderer and pretend that you're not.
You murdered Micah, the butcher's boy.
Oh.
So it is not for us to judge you. Only the Lord of Light may do that now.
This damn Lord of the Light gets around.
Who will it be?
Fanatics everywhere.
But it's me you'll fight.
I don't know if I want to fight the Hound. I've seen what he can do.
In 10 years, some of the boys who sent them may be unsullied in their turn.
That guy just needs to die. The baby dragon has like a little chain, like walker thing attached to it.
Is it done then? They belong to me. Pindas lusa certida.
Certida.
It is done. You hold the whip.
Oh, they're like trying.
Mom!
I
know. Yeah,
where you
like
going?
You sold me.
Dovageris.
Oh. Now she's got a big ass army. That bald dude's having some trouble maintaining that dragon.
Zaldrizes buzdaris kosdaur.
I was gonna say she was speaking Valerian.
That's right, she heard all the names you called her this whole time.
Yeah, you were talking that smack. Now that they're mine. Do it. Oh, there we go.
Yes. Fantastic.
Yeah! Kill that guy. I hate that dude. As he's just blowing it up.
Just looks like they're having fun.
Alright, so there goes everybody else.
Yes, queen.
Like a boss.
I love it.
Yeah, now y'all look real stupid, I guess. Daenerys just always keeps giving these people freedom, and then you have to worry about if some of them stay or leave. All right, just ride out. Just ride out with your massive army, I guess.
Don't need this anymore.
What a boss.
Yeah, boss moves, I have to say.
Even the score right now is fantastic.
I mean, that's quite an army, I must say.
I love it.
I mean, look how many there are.
And these three lovely children.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like the big one could be a little bit upset. You try to like sell me.
Like, Mom, come on.
Even if it was premature. I mean, that's a great way to end the episode.
So good.
Like my favorite word, Dracarys. All right. Well, that was episode 4 of season 3, and now his watch has ended. Confession time. This is probably top 3 favorite episodes of the entire series for me. I love it. And obviously, that final scene is one of my favorite moments of the entire
Yeah, I can imagine.
if I didn't love her before, this episode cemented the Daenerys love. But before we get to her storyline, we kick off with Brienne of Tarth and Jaime Lannister. Jaime riding around with his hand tied around his neck, and he's going through it, falling off of his horse. They're making him drink horse piss. They are really treating him rough. But Brienne tries to bring a little bit of light to the situation of, look, you lived a very pampered life. People have to lose important crap daily. Everybody loses stuff that is valuable to them. They lose their kids, they lose their spouses are killed. And you get one taste and now you just want to die. And he heeds it a little bit, decides, okay, fine, I'll live. But she also acknowledges that on the fly, he made up that lie in order to save her. So how did you feel about Brienne and Jaime this episode, Tyler?
I mean, I always find them really entertaining. It's kind of unfortunate that I actually have kind of started to like Jaime the last couple episodes, just because, like, I mean, I so much disdain I had for him in the earlier on episodes and seasons. I guess it'll be interesting to see his character progress as he's kind of, for lack of a better term, I guess he's been humbled. He's been quite humbled with losing a hand and then kind of just being abused. It's almost like, karma in a sense of all the terrible things that he's done. Yeah. And now they're just being onto him now. At least Brienne is trying to, I guess, make light of the situation and kind of try and bring him to, I guess, a somewhat sense of normalcy. And, since he's been sort of humbled. Yeah, I mean, it was also just nice that you find out that he actually lied, made up a whole lie just to save her. So I hope that they don't find that out. That could be bad for the situation if they find out it's actually a bunch of water and not a bunch of sapphire stones.
Yeah. He's another character. You definitely start to get the feels for him. But in the same token, you're like, well, she is right. You did cripple a boy and you killed your cousin. You led to Ned Stark being hobbled for like the later part of his life by ambushing him. But a hand is significant. But you've taken that from others as well. But yeah. Manda, how'd you feel about those two this episode?
I love them. I always love them. This is making me want to watch it again from the very beginning.
Nice.
I forgot how much I loved it. Just they have such a unique connection, and I think that's what makes them so special, is that it's like an unexpected pairing, and then they had amazing chemistry to boot. So just like having those conversations between the two of them adds so much like depth to Jaime, and it also shows how Brienne feels about him as well. So they help each other out, and I love them. I really do.
Well, then, over beyond, I guess, still the wall, some drama went down this episode. We start by hearing one of these little Night's Watch dudes, the one who was actually put in charge and told, if Samwell doesn't make it back, you don't either. So he had to make sure Sam continued on. He was very upset with Craster about him starving them and drinking their wine. We continue to hear how this unrest is building within the Night's Watch people. And then Craster is sitting there eating in front of them and making fun of them. And they just kind of lose it. They've snapped and they said, listen, you bastard, we're done. We're done with this. And he said, one more person calls me bastard and I'll chop off your hand. And the guy didn't lie when he said, you are a wildling daughter effing bastard. So
Yeah.
Craster goes in for the attack and gets himself shanked and killed.
Good.
Unfortunately, though, the Lord Commander Mormont is trying to calm the mess, and they turn on him as well.
Yeah.
Stabbed once, and when he's like retaliating, it gets that final big stab. And RIP to Lord Commander Mormont. Amongst the melee, though, Samwell runs out of there and grabs Gilly, says, we gotta go. We gotta get up out of here because they just killed the Lord Commander and they don't like me either. So I need to go before they kill us all.
They really don't like Samwell, so he's probably realized no point in me being here anymore.
Poor Bean. Deserves better.
So how do you feel about that whole scenario, Tyler?
I kind of figured eventually, it was going to come to a head at some point. Just the tension was going to come to, a conclusion. I figured that Craster was going to get murdered in some shape or form, just because he is such like a raging like douchebag. So it felt appropriate that he gets murdered in a gruesome fashion. It's unfortunate about Commander Mormont, because I kind of did like him a little bit as a character, not a lot, but like he was one of the more like okay people of the seasons that we've had so far. I was expecting Samwell to leave with Gilly one way or another. I just didn't think this was going to be the precursor that caused that to happen. I guess there'll be another storyline where Samwell and Gilly and this unnamed child are on the run.
How did you feel about Lord Commander Mormont's death and that whole scenario, Amanda?
I never cared for that entire storyline. Like the Night's Watch, the bloodbath was cool. How it ended up happening was really great, and I'm really happy that Sam got out of there with Gilly and they can live and be free and do whatever they want, because that's what he deserves. He deserves all the good things.
Samwell, to this point in the story, is your favorite member of the Night's Watch?
Yes. Literally.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't care about anyone else.
I think most of the Night's Watch aren't really great anyway. Like character wise, I should say.
Well, then we do see Theon talking to this man who broke him out of this prison, and they have this like heart-to-heart moment where Theon kind of comes to the realization that what he did was really shitty. He says that his real father died in King's Landing, obviously referring to Ned Stark. And you see that moment of remorse start to set in for what he did in season 2. And we then see he has just literally been led right into a circle, and he is back at the torture chamber that he started off the season in. And the guy who was leading him around says, oh my God, he killed all the others. Lock him up. So now Theon is going back up on that little Tyler, how'd you feel about that?
It's nice that I guess that Theon is showing some remorse for his actions. I don't know how well I feel about him. I don't know. I don't really like Theon that much, but good for him showing remorse. We'll see, I guess, if he makes it out of this next batch of torturing. I don't know.
All right. And Manda?
I feel the exact same way that Tyler does, but it was a full circle moment. He literally went around and said, this is where you belong. I messed with your head. It was just hilarious. I'm laughing at it, to be honest.
Well, then we got just a little bit of Bran and Jojen. Bran had another three-eyed raven dream. They didn't really show anything other than that. It's actually quite a weird moment. There wasn't really any revelation.
I feel like that describes a lot of Bran's scenes. They kind of just feel a lot of the time random.
We didn't see anybody else. We didn't see Osha, Rickon, Hodor, Mira, his sister. Just those two. Much going on there. But then over at King's Landing, we start off with Varys telling the story of his castration and why he distrusts magic. And we learn that Varys is a little bit darker than we had imagined.
Yeah.
He's keeping the sorcerer who castrated him locked up in a box all this time. Then we move right along. We see Cersei with Tywin Lannister. Great zingers coming from Tywin.
Always.
And Cersei thinking she's all it, telling him, like, haven't you ever thought maybe I'm the one you should be trusting? And he shoots her down real quick. He kind of throws the challenge at him to say, well, then, if you're so high and mighty, you stop Joffrey from doing what he wants. And Tywin is more than ready for the challenge. But this all comes off the back of Marjorie and Joffrey on this very macabre date before she takes him out to the people, starting to already love her because, as we've seen, she is a queen who goes out there with the people, helps the poor. So by proxy, they like him standing next to her.
Miracle that Marjorie that could pull something like that off to make them actually kind of like Joffrey.
Exactly.
So how'd you feel about all that business, Tyler?
I thought that was really entertaining. I mean, I feel like Tywin Lannister is just becoming like the roast machine, as he's just like roasting everyone that he talks to, especially his kids. I think his kids have gotten the brunt of it so far. Tyrion's definitely got his fair share, and then Cersei's got her fair share. I worry what kind of roasting Jaime's going to get if he ever shows up, because he's going to be missing a hand. So
Oh my god.
I'm liking the stuff with Marjorie and I guess the drama between Marjorie with Cersei and Cersei. Cersei seems to really just hate how good Marjorie is at doing, the queen-like stuff and having people like her.
Yeah.
She seems very conflicted on that. Like, how dare you, control Joffrey, and I can't do it, but you can somehow. So I don't know. It's just, I mean, that's a miracle. I mean, like, feels like Marjorie pulled off this crazy miracle where they've actually made, just by proxy, makes King's Landing actually kind of like Joffrey just because of her.
All right, and Manda?
Oh, it's always entertaining. Cersei is just, and with Tywin, it's hilarious. As much as I hate Tywin, like, everything that comes out of his mouth is like pure gold. It's hilarious. And Marjorie is a fantastic character. Natalie Dormer, like, completely knocks it out of the park every single scene she's in. We love her more than Joffrey because we just, like, just the way she acts with him, it makes me laugh. It does, because it just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, it wasn't romantic at all, going to go see graves, and he's just so proud of it because he's like the most dark and twisted person. So
yeah.
And we did continue a little bit with Marjorie as we went out to the gardens, and we got some more Olenna Tyrell. Varys gets some of the best matchups, I will say that. They just pair him up with some of the best characters that he gets to bounce off of, whether it be Tyrion, Littlefinger, even Roz at the beginning of this episode. But then he gets up there with Olenna Tyrell, who is certainly a match for his wits as they go back and forth. And he kind of brings a proposal regarding Sansa Stark, because Roz brought to his attention that he is planning to take Sansa with him as he goes up to the Eyrie, and we cannot let that happen, of course. So starts scheming with Olenna, and we see Marjorie bringing such an idea to Sansa herself to marry Sansa off to Loras and maybe have the Tyrells keep that claim to the north and hopefully bring a better life than what Sansa's been going through. How do you feel about that whole exchange, Tyler, and that plan coming into formation?
I mean, I obviously so far have loved Olenna Tyrell, and I mean, she's feisty and entertaining, and seems to have no problem battling the wits of anyone that she seems to come across. Varys and her had a very interesting matchup. Varys was actually pretty interesting this episode, because, like you said, all of his matchups were really well done, and like even in the surprisingly dark moments. Because I know I didn't mention it before, but that dark moment where he actually has the guy in the crate.
Yeah. It's a big Varys episode overall.
That's what I mean. Like, overall, it was actually surprisingly well done for him. It seems like the Tyrells kind of just have like their own set plan, and they're kind of just trying to work, weave themselves in, kind of just to make it work for them. It seems like they have their own motivations, and it seems like they're kind of playing the right cards when it comes to the Starks that are left, and the Lannisters, I guess, as well. As Marjorie's kind of swooped in and become like the new fave and is manipulating Joffrey and then they're going to try and manipulate all the stuff with Sansa and then, Marjorie's brother, Loras. So I don't know. I mean, I think the plan's a good plan. I just don't know if the Lannisters will let it happen.
All right, well, we talked a little bit about Marjorie before. How did you feel about Olenna and Varys this episode, Amanda?
Such a great matchup. Oh my God. It was just so much fun to watch. So entertaining. You have like two very strong characters and like they have such quick wit, as you said. And just like watching that plan unfold and having them have that discussion was really amazing to watch. One of the best scenes of the season, to be honest. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. Olenna especially, she's a gem. She's a gem, and every single scene that she's in just is fantastic.
Certainly one of the best additions come season 3.
Yeah, I would say so at least.
She certainly injects life into every scene she's in. Then we see Arya and Gendry arrive at this little camp of the Brotherhood Without Banners, and we see that the Hound is put on trial by this Brotherhood. So Beric Dondarrion was in season 1. Ned Stark, they kind of mentioned it here, when he made all those commands when the people brought those fish to him while he was on the throne. Ned sent Beric Dondarrion and a group of people out to go and bring the mountain to justice, which we know did not happen. And spoiler alert, speaking of character changes, that's a new actor though. So
Let's say that's probably why I didn't recognize them, because they keep recasting these people.
So for whatever reason, they are kind of transferring a lot of his brother's crimes onto the mountain as a campaign. And Arya pipes in saying, well, I don't know if you murdered those other people, but I do know 100% that you murdered my friend, Micah, so you are a murderer, Hound. And that leads to them saying, well, looks like we'll have a trial by combat. And we learn that these Brotherhood Without Banners worships the Lord of the Light, same as Melisandre, that we've heard so much about. So
I mean, I knew that right away once they started talking about Lord of the Light. I was like, oh, these people are on the same page.
How'd you feel about that whole scene, Tyler?
I thought it was pretty good. I don't think it's very fair, I guess, and that to try and try the Hound for the mountain's problems, because it's not like they like each other. They clearly the disdain between them. Like, what I feel like if especially since they don't get along, you're just like guilty for your siblings' crime. Seems kind of unfair, even if he is a raging murderer. Because I mean, we all know how many people the Hound has murdered so far in the show. I guess I'm conflicted in the sense that like it's going to be a trial by combat, but it's interesting because the Hound is obviously very formidable in battle. But we've seen what people that believe in the Lord of the Light are capable of. So I'm just thinking there's probably going to be some crazy magic involved if these two are going to fight. It's going to be like a giant epic swordman versus a much smaller magic wielding man. I don't know. It could be. I guess that makes it a little bit even. I don't know.
It's Manda. How did you feel about pretty much our introduction to the Brotherhood Without Banners?
They're so weird. They're just like one of the weirdest characters.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, they're just weird and like, like what are you guys doing? The Hound, like what do you? I don't understand why you would even try. But yes, all the magic, all the time. I really loved Arya's bravery in this scene where she just calls him out. She doesn't give a shit. It makes you love her, you know.
Well, then we get to the final scene. We see Daenerys bringing out her largest dragon, which is also, as we've noticed, kind of her favorite little dragon.
The other two really seem to be neglected, honestly.
They're chilling in their little woven boxes.
Like,
but
let me out. I want to have fun.
She gives her dragon over to Master Kreisnes and gets the whip in exchange and instantly starts giving commands when he's calls out for her saying, I want this dragon, calm down. She tells him a dragon is not a slave. His face drops as he realizes she speaks Valyrian and has spoken it this whole time, hearing all that he has had to say over this encounter. Daenerys then turns and instructs the Unsullied to slay all the masters, to kill every man who holds a whip, but make sure to harm no children, and strike the chains off of every slave you see. And she gives the command, Dracarys, which we learned last season is the command for fire.
Basically, yeah.
And that dragon lights him up.
Rightfully so.
A battle ensues in which the Unsullied easily take down the masters. That dragon is lighting things up in the background. And Jorah and Barristan are shook, standing there like, oh, damn. But then they have like a proud father kind of moment, and they kind of look at each other like, okay, well. But Daenerys has one more line of business. She addresses the Unsullied, tells them, your entire life you have been slaves, but today you are free. You are free people. Will you come and fight with me? You don't have to. But they say yes. Start stamping their sticks. She throws down that whip and heads out with her new army of Unsullied. How did you feel about that ending, Tyler?
I mean, it was pretty badass. I mean, I can't deny the badassness of the entire setup, really. I mean, I'm glad that, what's his face, the bald man was murdered, finally. But I thought this was really great character development for Daenerys. She's really just stepped into this really badass leadership role, and I can see why you have so much Daenerys stuff behind you in your background, and why you enjoy her character so much, because she's great. I'm excited to see what the future holds. Now she has this massive army of people. From the beginning of the show to now, like, the development's really crazy. So I'm glad to see that she's become this very competent leader, and now she has this really amazing army, and she didn't have to sacrifice any of her dragons, and the people are free. So I guess I also like she's kind of doing things her own way, not taking the conventional route when it comes to building up her armies. It's always freeing people and then giving them the option to join along.
They don't really talk about the non-soldier people all that much, but all of Astapor was freed, and so you saw like the kids and the women she was like looking at, feeling bad last episode. They're free as well, and they're staying at their homes in Astapor. Just the soldiers are coming along as freed men. So learns a lot. You notice she didn't show her hand right away like she did last season. Last season she was coming out bold, trying to get what she wanted, and it didn't really work in her favor. So this time she made a plan. She did things a little bit more sneaky and on a strategy. Then she also listened to Barristan and Jorah, took their advice. And when Barristan told her a bot army is never as good as like a loyal army who wants to fight for you, that also played into the decision of, you're free, now come fight with me.
Yeah, it was just reminding me when everyone was free and like half the Dothraki just left.
Yes, yeah.
They're just like, all right, peace out, have fun.
She freed the Dothraki, and about half of them were like, cool, bye.
That's what I was figuring was going to happen with some of these Unsullied, but it seems like the Unsullied were just like, what? Well, we're not. We got nothing else to do.
This is the only life we know. So
sounds fun, sounds fun to them probably. Right?
So, Manda, how'd you feel about this Daenerys scene?
Oh my god, I think this is the episode where like I fell in love with her officially. Like you said, Larry, it's one of her best episodes, one of her strongest episodes. And like Tyler said, she's a complete badass in this. Complete badass. That twist where she like understood the bald man and everything he was saying, like it was just so cool. She's amazing. And the army that she has is unreal. And then that last scene, before it cuts to credits, the dragons flying, the score, and her just like on the horse with her entire army behind her, like it's just one of the most incredible endings to an episode ever for DANY, and she's awesome.
I know we got introduced to that like kind of battle score of hers this episode too.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
So, once again, Tyler, now that we've seen that, Dany has her army right now. Brienne and Jaime just wandering around without a hand. Samwell on the run, and the Lord Commander, and pretty much the entire Night's Watch in complete disarray right now. And the Tyrells plotting and scheming to get Sansa Stark. Just a few things that were put into motion. What are your predictions?
I don't know as far as like some of them goes. I guess Samwell and Gilly are just going to be on the run. Hopefully,
Bonnie and Clyde.
hopefully they run into somebody along the way in the world that can help them, whether it's people that we know already or they're new people. I feel like the stuff with Sansa is not going to go well. I just feel like the Lannisters are going to probably try and mess something up just because they always do. Why would they just let that happen?
That's their thing, mess things up.
I mean, imagine Daenerys is going to take this amazing army somewhere. I don't know necessarily where exactly we're going to go, like in the short term.
Unfortunately, still only has one ship, so not quite enough for all of those people.
Well, I guess that's the conundrum, right?
Too many people for her ship capacity right now.
I guess they gotta build. They gotta build the ships. And I hope the Unsullied know how to build. I mean,
and dragons are still a little too small for a lot of stuff. They're still in cute territory.
Yeah, no, they could be ridden by anyone or anything. I think that covers at least most of the main predictions. I mean, I guess Brienne and Jaime are kind of just still in this really crappy predicament. So I don't know if anything is gonna immediately change.
If it does, it probably won't be for the better.
I like their banter and I like their storyline. Some of the storylines in Game of Thrones, some of them are just really hard to predict where they're going to go, and that's like one of them. Same with like Bran and them. I guess Samwell, even Jon, really.
Yeah.
Oh, Jon.
All right, we'll start with you again, Manda. Who were your fave characters and your least fave characters this episode?
Fave characters: Dany.
Yeah.
Dany, Jaime, Brienne, Avi, Marjorie, Olenna. Least favorite: Joffrey.
Always.
Theon.
Joffrey.
Typical.
I feel like my favorite has to be Daenerys with this episode, to be honest. I mean, just all factors considered, it would be a travesty if I didn't say she was my favorite of the episode.
How dare you?
Tyrion was always amazing. Marjorie, Olenna. I mean, the Tyrells in general are usually pretty great. I guess even Varys was entertaining this episode, so I would throw Varys in there as well. Usually I wouldn't, but like he was actually pretty entertaining this episode. Surprisingly.
Varys making moves up the list.
Even Jaime and Brienne. I mean, Brienne more so than Jaime. The show is doing a good job making me feel bad for Jaime, so I feel like I have to have some sympathy for him. Least favorites. I mean, Joffrey is always up. I feel like it's really hard to dethrone him. As long as he's in an episode, I feel like he has to be towards the top, if not the very top.
Like we've said before, even if he doesn't talk, just like that smug little look on his face, you're just like, oh God. Just ruined my day. No.
But Joffrey, two of the people I really disliked died. But I mean, the bald dude, I forget his name, but the bald Howie Mandel looking dude, Esther. It was great to see him finally kick the bucket. Even though in the process we lost Commander Mormont, which is unfortunate. I guess Theon. I mean, even though I just don't like, even though Theon's showing some remorse, maybe he won't. Maybe this will be the last time he's in the people I dislike, just because he showed some remorse, and we'll see. But I guess those are the people I dislike. Half of them died, so so they won't be in it anymore. But it is what it is.
No, we met that master cutting off a unsullied nipple, and now he is a burnt crisp. So, all right, that was our reaction and review for season 3, episode 4, and now his watch has ended. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, make sure that you are following both of my co-hosts. Tyler, you want to let them know where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you find me if you see the name on the screen. That's my name, obviously. That's my name on YouTube as well, and on Twitter and Instagram at It's Tyler Calvert.
Perfect. And Manda, once again, thank you so much for being involved in this reaction. You want to let them know where they can follow you?
For sure. Thank you guys for having me again. This was such a blast. I love it. You guys can find me at AMX NBA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. You can check out my YouTube channel, Candid Cinema, and my website, candidxcinema.com.
Perfect. And make sure to let us know your thoughts on this episode. Did you also fall in love with Daenerys in the episode? Let us know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit any of us up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.